Good morning, everyone. Good morning, my dear young intellectuals. Good morning to the PNU community, and good morning to our fellow citizens. I hope that everyone is doing well in these challenging times. You know, we cannot control of the things around us, but we can control things within our means. Our discussion this morning will focus on well-being, self-regulation, and self-determination in the context of flexible learning. It's not an in-depth discussion of the theories, but the mere application of it in these challenging times. Before we continue, let us greet Dr. Jose Rizal a happy birthday. Yes, it's his 159th birthday, to be exact. No, maybe Dr. Jose Rizal is a self-regulated learner and self-determined during his time because he was able to publish two controversial and yet revolutionary books entitled Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo that paved the way to our independence. So once again, happy birthday to our national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal. To begin with, one of the iconic quotes of Lao Tzu that centers on teaching is how to make sense of our learners' performance. The quote reflects on the 4 C's of the 21st century learning skills. These are critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. In this flexible learning platform, how can we give projects, homeworks, and other requirements that are doable and viable for learners? On quality education, it reminds me of the question, why do you want to be educated? And the answer to this is so that we can liberate ourselves from ignorance. So again, so why do you want to be educated? It's because we want to liberate ourselves from ignorance. And aiming for excellence is totally different from aiming for perfectionism. In the new normal, e-learning is the mainstream while it is still unsafe for us to do face-to-face classes, which is why we have an amalgamation of gadgets like laptops, desktops, smartphones, and the like. It assists teachers, no? It assists us and learners to be productive and efficient in the new normal. All of us are expected to adapt flexible learning, and as faculty and students alike, we have our concerns like, are we prepared for this? As a PhD student, I also have some concerns. Why? Because there is no face-to-face. And it is delivered via synchronous and asynchronous learning. So for flexi learning, there should be a learner-centered instruction. That is why teachers have to provide an orientation. When I took my CTP online, our professors, no, they provided us with clear-cut instructions as to what to do and our requirements and readings. Um, Next is that we also have to guide learners as we facilitate learning by giving clear guidelines and instructions when we give substantial requirements. Why? Because it enables learners to choose, strategize, and decide from a constructive and pragmatic manner. And through this, we are able to give them life skills. I'm sure you know this already, but we will just revisit the goals of flexible learning. And that is to provide quality experience with consideration of the traits and learning styles of students and teachers alike. Some of the preferred, no? We have some of the preferred learning styles of learners are auditory, where they may be given the option to listen to a lecture. Kinesthetic, it's the option to manipulate objects to grasp the concept. And next is the visual. So learners, no, they are shown movie clips to help build their understanding. And the bottom line here is that we have to find ways in solving problems. No? Okay. So uh, another factor that we have to consider in using the online platform is individual differences. Not all students will respond in the same way, which is why it is important to acknowledge their diverse needs. As mentioned earlier, we have to cater to the needs of auditory, kinesthetic, and visual learners. Okay, let's go to well-being. No? So, majority of the people at present are under financial constraints because of this pandemic. And I would like to give some examples in the context of online learning. One is buying gadgets that we need for this new platform is an added cost, especially for parents who have more than two kids being sent to school. Next is upgrading our internet connection that would add cost on the budget at home. And of course, there is an increase in electricity consumption due to the online platform. These are some concerns that create immense worry, especially for breadwinners in the family. But let's not put negativity into play here. Rather, let's put our apprehensions as considerations rather than difficulty. Remember, so remember this, everything happens for a reason. And that distinct desire to be optimistic helps put our worry into pieces and allows us to move on. Next is we have to find something that won't be a chore. For example, in my case, I have been avoiding Netflix before this pandemic happened. But, well, I have to find various ways to fulfill my interests other than reading. So, you have to find you have to find something that is engaging to feel you are alive and not just existing, no? Okay, so again, so aside from having this positive emotion, so being optimistic, no, seeking pleasure and enjoyment, no, so you have to engage into something that fulfills you, no, and that is yeah, engagement, no. Okay. um, and what else? So taking free online courses and attending webinars are life-changing activities that are worth our time. No? So you can do that as well. Next is establishing social connections. Okay, so we have to set aside time to communicate with our friends, our colleagues, and loved ones because it enhances human connection and maintains our sanity. So on the brighter side, flexi learning paves the way. No? So it paves the way for exchange of ideas and gives us a, should I say, kaleidoscope of discussion for us to socialize. So in this context, there is no social distancing. Huh? So remember, there is no social distancing. So what we have is physical distancing. Okay, because we can still socialize, no, through Zoom, through Google Meet, and other platforms of communication. Okay, and reflecting on the purpose of the things that we are engaged right now allows us to connect. It allows us to respond and discover ourselves even more. And solutions aren't easier to accomplish things that we want to finish. Yeah, no. But by putting tremendous efforts, this one would attain tangible results. Okay. So remember, the nature of well-being demands the ability to be flexible. Our well-being is also essential to optimize learning. And our well-being is important to develop life skills. And what else? Our well-being is important for positive functioning to materialize, no? In such a way that we have to be physically and mentally well, especially when we engage in flexi learning. Okay, so we have to focus, no? And we have to deliver. Another area that relates to flexi learning is self-regulation. It's about setting goals and monitoring it. No? So if we monitor, we try to regulate and control. Okay? Using our metacognition. Oh, by the way, metacognition is thinking by thinking. No? And by using thinking by thinking or metacognition, we regulate the task that makes us hold on to our strategies. So an example of which is when you work or study from home. No? So you should have the capacity to control your activities by listing down your routines and strictly following it. Okay, and take note, take note of this. Nobody or no one will let you or even remind you what to do, which is why having the initiative and discipline matter the most in the light of the new normal. It's also having a belief in exercising your choice and in self-regulation. It's the beginning of understanding ourselves. Some of us have various roles to portray, uh, whether it may be in school or in our family. Some of us are students and at the same time teachers. Some of us are even parents, students, and teachers at the same time. When I was a CTP student, I did everything, no? From teaching to doing household chores and and anything and everything in between, no? At present, I'm still doing the same practice, especially now that I am a PhD student, no? It's all about time management. It's difficult, but it can be done. Okay. um, and we can only do so much, but with positive mindset, anything is possible. And with a positive mindset, we can perform as to what is doable, viable, and practical. So let us help our students to succeed, no, in these challenging times. Let us give the support, no, they need. Okay, it's not about us teachers, no, it's all about our students. Okay, take note, I am coming from Lev Vygotsky's theory, no, that we are the scaffolds of learners. Okay, so again, as scaffolds of learners, we have to keep in mind the following questions. So what are these questions? For one is that how can we help students learn? No, okay, and number two is how can we make sense of student performance? And of course, through this, no, it fosters our learners how to be inquisitive, no, and it's human nature to learn. So let's support our learners to revitalize learning. Next is self-determination, no. So in self-determination, it tells us how we do or how well we do, no, in competence, autonomy, and relatedness. Okay, so in competence, this is to know the task that we need to do if you are a student, no? And of course, as a student, you're supposed to have a sense of mastery on how to work on your projects, assignments, readings, or problem sets, no? And the next concern is that I know some of us no, have technological challenges in terms of skills. But with this pandemic going on, we really have to be effective as teachers and students alike. Okay, so the younger generation, no, they can adapt quickly, no. So the Gen Zs and the millennials, no, because they are more techy than us, no. Okay, which is why as educators, no, we should double our efforts. Okay, so it's just a reminder that we have to use our creative intelligence and cognitive flexibility as we make as we make use of technology wisely and efficiently. Okay, so again, so take note of this now. So we have to use our creative intelligence and cognitive flexibility as we make use of technology wisely and efficiently. I guess at this point in time, some of us cannot gain control because we're not in the classroom anymore. Why? Because we still have to learn the dynamics of online teaching. For example, yes, you have to learn what controls to press during a Zoom meeting. You have to learn the ropes of recording your lectures and other presentations in Google Meet. Well, just in my case, I just want to share this now. I asked help from a colleague of mine on how to use Google Meet, which entails a lot of grit, which entails a lot of patience. No, so when we talk about autonomy, we have to be self-initiating. And next is what? We have to strive to fulfill the need for relatedness. Okay, so that means that we have to socially engage ourselves using platforms like Viber, what else? Messenger, Gmail, FB, and other platforms that entail a sense of belongingness, no? Other platforms that entail this feeling of connectedness. Okay, and this is done with self-earned passion, and it should be intrinsic. Okay, so when we say intrinsic, it should come from within. Okay, so when we say it should come from within, we wanted it solely. Okay, so the next is as a reminder, no. So as teachers, we need to support the three psychological needs of students, no. The need for competence, the need for autonomy, and the need for relatedness. Okay, so um, let's be mindful about this. Okay, and as I have said, it's not about us. No? So it's about our learners. And yes, no. So self-determination it seriously gravitates our motivation in the light of the challenges we face, which is why, as teachers, we should have the compassion to listen. No, so we should give time for students for creative work. We should give them the chance to talk. Okay, we should acknowledge no their efforts. Okay, so we should encourage them. No, and of course we should be responsive to comments and questions. Okay, so that's the support that we give is that we should teach them how to think. Okay, which is why we should respond to their needs. No, why? Because we are guiding them and we are teaching them how to think. Okay, so we're in the concluding part of our discussion. Let me just share some of my personal take. No? So, and here are as follows. Okay, so no one should be compelled because we're making personal choices. No, that's why it's flexible. Okay, so it helps us exercise our metacognition, and it enhances our rewiring of neurons. No, rewiring of neurons is the so-called neuroplasticity. Okay, the more we think in a productive way, the more our neurons rewire. No, so the more neuroplasticity occurs, which is, of course, healthy for the mind. So we optimize metacognition and neuroplasticity because we think, because we plan, because we decide. Okay, and this is possible with our emotional intelligence, no? And emotional intelligence, no? According to Goldman, it motivates us, no? It persists us and it regulates our moods, no? Okay, and speaking of regulating our moods, no? So it has something to do with our hormones, no? So being flexible and using our EQ to control our priorities, no? So this one is backed up by our hormones, okay? And there are 5 hormones that make our world, no? What are these, no? So let me just discuss this briefly, no? So one is endorphins, which is known as the happy hormone, okay? And how do we boost this, no? So we boost this through exercise, no? You know, doing core exercises at home, that would be helpful, okay? I myself, no, I do core exercises, no? Not the strenuous ones, no? Just just the simple ones, no? And you have to do it every day, okay? Look at athletes, no? So they have a positive outlook, especially when they're in the game. You know, when they're in the game, there's no room for pessimism, no? Even in the point of losing, because of their endorphins, no? So they're so optimistic, okay? They're so elated because of this endorphins, which gives them the capacity to be positive at all times. Next is dopamine, no? So dopamine is it gives us pleasure, no? Rewards, wants, and what is behind our intrinsic motivation. So it's dopamine. Okay, so uh, dopamine, no? Take note, here, no? Our aim, our goal, and our desire to achieve well-being, self-regulation, and self-determination are being backed up by dopamine. Okay, so it's very important. Next is serotonin, the mood stabilizer, no? And serotonin sets the pace of our mood. Well, this could be enhanced if we drink and eat foods rich with amino acid tryptophan. Why? Because tryptophan is an amino acid that is converted to serotonin, which stabilizes our mood. And how do we do this? No. So what are these drinks and foods rich in tryptophan? Okay, so take note, So you take this down, no? So again, what are foods rich in tryptophan, which is converted to serotonin? These are the following, no? So we have milk, we have tofu, we have soy, eggs, sardines, chicken meat, and not the chicken skin, because chicken skin is high in cholesterol, no? We also have nuts, no? Peanuts, we have almonds, we have pistachios, no? Fruits, no? Fruits like what? Pineapple, banana, and papaya. Okay, so those foods are, rich in tryptophan. Okay, so next time you go to the supermarket, you have to be mindful to science your push cart. Okay, because when you science your push cart, you fill up your basket with the drinks, the foods that I mentioned. Okay, so next is one of the pop culture icons of modern mythology. No? His name is Hal Jordan, aka the Green Lantern. Okay, with his meme, in brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. So this is my own interpretation of his meme. No? So we use our moral judgment to eliminate the following evil deeds. No? Evil in a sense that it disrupts our motivation and intellectual endurance. No? So what are these evil deeds? No? So we have procrastination, we have stubbornness, and an idle mind. Okay, so take note. No? So we have to use our moral judgment in order for us to be self-constructive. Next is also a pop culture icon of modern mythology. This young green friend of ours who needs no further introduction. No? So his meme, do or do not, there is no try. Okay, so my interpretation of his meme is that moral responsibility is applied to act and produce tangible results that are to be useful enough. No? Okay, so take note, no action, no result. Okay, so next is the fundamental. This is fundamental to our survival is in these challenging times is a leap of faith. No, okay, so what makes it fundamental? No, in these challenging times, uh, because we have to hang on to faith. No, a leap of faith. Okay, and uh, there's this certain enzyme that is embedded in our genes. No, this is known as the VMAT2. Okay, which is known as the vesicular monoamine transferase 2. Okay, so this VMAT2, it regulates our serotonin, our dopamine, and our norepinephrine. Norepinephrine is also a hormone. It's a catecholamine that triggers our feelings. No, okay, when we pray, there's the feeling of transcendence. Yeah, the feeling of transcendence that it's something that uplifts our disturbing movement of our soul, which is why faith is power. Okay, and yeah, no, so this one is a powerful prayer. No, so yes, it's posted there now, and it helps us. No, it gives us strength. Okay, it makes us well, spiritually and emotionally. Okay, so if we are physically, emotionally, cognitively, and mentally prepared, we can ride the tide of flexibility. We can face the current pandemic with confidence, and we are capable of discerning and deciding what is best for us. Okay. So on that note, let me leave you with this quote. No, there you go. Okay. So learning comes from the choices we make, since we are the ones who plot our path, how to live that justifies our existence. Okay. So always remember to keep an open mind, to be at peace, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay strong. No? Thank you for listening, and may God bless us all. And of course, I wish you well. Thank you, and good morning once again.